Good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Nayrot, you're here on Beatty versus Melissa Machina.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
All right, let's go ahead and call that case for the record. This is docket 22-01152. That is Beatty versus Melissa Machina. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Please the court, Your Honor, Attorney Frank Narrett, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff landlord.
And ma'am, you are Melissa Machina?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I'm checking here in my courtroom. Do we have any other tenants here in the courtroom? One tenant. What's your name, sir?
Nathaniel Thomas.
Daniel Thomas. And you're here for your 8:15 with Tracy Thomas. Is she here?
Right, he's not.
He's not here. All right. Ms. Machina and Mr. Thomas, I'm going to play you a video, all right, that indicates some of your rights in this matter. Now that we're past 8:30, if you sit right up here, you should be able to see it on this. And I'm going to share my screen and play the video, and then we'll call your case. All right. I don't know if let's do that again. I'm going to get out of that. I don't know if I shared the audio too. There we go. All right. That's the new one. And then close it. Share sound. That's what I didn't do last time.
Is available through the COVID Emergency Rental Assistance Program, also known as SARA program. Apply online. APP. Also known as SARA program. Right. Welcome online to the 54A District Court. Please listen carefully for information about resources and assistance that may be available. Also known as SARA program. Right. Please have paper and a pen to the 50. Rental assistance is available through the COVID Emergency Rental Assistance Program, also known as SARA program. Apply online or from your smartphone at saraapp.michigan.gov. That's CERAAPP.michigan.gov. You have a right to be represented by an attorney. If you do not have an attorney and you are able to afford an attorney, you might locate an attorney through the State Bar of Michigan by calling 1-800-968-0738. If you cannot afford an attorney, you may seek free representation from legal services. You should have received this information with your summons and complaint. We have a representative present from legal services who is available to speak with you at the conclusion of today's hearing. You have a right to a trial by judge or jury. Assistance is also available from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. If you have a caseworker at MDHHS, then you should contact the Eviction Diversion Program line at 517-887-9595. If you do not have a caseworker, the court will provide you with information for a housing specialist or assistance payment worker at the local MDHHS office. Please contact that person immediately. These services are free. You do not need a judgment to receive assistance from MDHHS or Holy Cross services. The summons and complaint from the court case are sufficient. If you are a veteran, assistance may be available through the National Call Center for Homeless Veterans at 1-877-424-3838 or by visiting the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs Homeless Veterans homepage. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. One way to resolve this case is if you and your landlord reach an agreement. In such case, a conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. The court can provide you with a form for a conditional dismissal. Another resource is the Michigan Community Dispute Resolution Program. If the court determines that your case can be resolved through community dispute resolution, then that resource will be coordinated by the judge. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly by the judge.
All right, Ms. Mucina, you heard that video?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're back on the record in 22-01152. Mr. Nearat, Ms. Mucina, you have several options here today. Mr. Nearat here, he's a legal representative from FADI. The options that you have today, and Mr. Nearat, you feel free to chime in when you want to, is that I don't know if you've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Nearat concerning some of the legal issues in this case. He's a representative. You can speak to him in a breakout room concerning this matter. After this hearing's over, Ms. Templeton's here with representatives from Legal Services of South Central Michigan, and they'd be happy to speak to you concerning some of the issues in your case. Do you have a preference on how you want to proceed today?
Your Honor, if it pleases the court, this is a first hearing. This is
Sure.
a non-payment case. It's simply a matter of payment of past due rental amounts. My records reflect that rent is owed for March, April, May, and June at the rate of $1,000 a month. And I have court costs of $82.76. We were involved in a similar action a year ago, and Ms. Mucina at that time had applied for SERA funds and had obtained those funds, and then that action was dismissed. That was a year ago. I have no information as to whether she's applied for recertification or anything along that line, but we're not asking for a money judgment. We're simply looking to get rent caught up.
Ms. Mucina, you understand Mr. Nearat indicated FADI's position on this. Would you like to meet with him in a breakout room to work out some of these issues?
I'm sure, because I did apply for the program again. So
You did. Do you have?
Yes.
Do you? And I do know that the program's coming to its end. When did you make application for that program?
it was June the 20th, and I talked to someone yesterday. She said that they're going through the applications right now. So they're in the process of it. I think they sent them a paper to fill out too.
Did they give you a number, ma'am?
I'm sorry.
Did you get a number with your application?
No, I just talked to the lady from Capital area yesterday, and she said she do see that I submitted everything in there, and that I guess there was a slew of people coming in at one time, so they reviewing them all. So I am in the process of working on that.
Why don't I put you in a breakout room with Mr. Nearat? You can share some of that information, and then we'll put you back on the record. I do know that that program, at least as of June, at the end of June, was only taking paper application on certain matters. Mr. Nearat, would you be amenable to meeting with Ms. Mucina and see if you could work out some of these issues?
They're really, Your Honor, could we call on Ms. Templeton? I think sometimes she can tell us whether there is a recert pending, and she may be able to give us some information, if that'd be all right. I think that'd be more
Absolutely.
helpful than putting me in a breakout room with
Right,
Ms.
right.
Mucina.
Right, I agree. Ms. Templeton, do you have anything to add on this, or?
Yeah. Yes, Your Honor, I am able to see in the online portal that a recert application has been submitted. That number is 112702-recert-1. And it, from what I can see, it looks like Mr. Narrett's client has submitted some documentation as well. But I see that it's still in the submitted status.
With that, Your Honor, I guess I'd ask the court to reset this matter out perhaps 30 or 45 days to allow that SIRA program process to run to completion.
45. Yeah, I'm gonna treat this as putting the file in abeyance for 45 days, and then it can come back. So per the SIRA number. So I'm gonna place in a 45-day abeyance per the statute or the ordinance. Abeyance. And then we'll look to hear from you, Mr. Narrat, if we need to bring the case back.
One way or the other, Your Honor, either you'll get a dismissal or a request that it get reinstated to your docket.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Narrat. Ms. Mucina, do you understand what we're doing today? We're gonna place this file in a 45-day abeyance based on the SIRA application and number. And then after 45 days, there'll be whether rental assistance is available. That'll determine what we do with the case. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, all right. So Mr. Narrat, anything else for the record? 22-01152.
Not in that file, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And then we have, I don't see Mr. Mock here. Oh, you're here? All right, if you could set, since we have the actual individuals here, we'll go ahead and, so rare to have everybody here. So we're on the record in docket 22-01614. That is Lawrence Jaramillo versus American Care Auto and Nathaniel Thomas and Tracy Nathaniel. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Attorney Sean Mock for the plaintiff, Florence Jaramillo.
And sir, you are?
Daniel Thomas, American Car Care.
All right, Mr. Thomas, you had the opportunity to see the video that we played for you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mock, how are we proceeding today?
Yeah, thank you, Your Honor. This is a commercial landlord tenant matter. I've had a couple conversations with Mr. Thomas over the last few days, and we seem to agree on the amount of rent to retain possession in this case. Mr. Thomas has informed me that he is in fact in the process of vacating the property. He expects to vacate this week, in fact. However, there is the issue of the money judgment, which Mr. Thomas, from our conversation, disagrees with entry of a money judgment at this point. I'm not sure there's any other matters in dispute.
Well, may I speak, Your Honor?
You may.
I spoke with Lawrence, who's the landlord, and my brother and I got this building in 2019, and it didn't have furnace and heating. And we went to court about this last year. And I don't know how we lost it, but he rented us a bay to clean cars with no heat, and we lost. And I didn't dispute it. It cost me almost $22,000 from late rent because of COVID, and I had to pay to put the furnace in.
Okay, so I'm going to stop you right there. So there's some issues concerning the money judgment.
Well, I don't want to. I talked to Mr. Lawrence about letting me out the lease. My brother originally went in with me. A month after he signed the lease, he disappeared. His son died. He's been off the radar. My family hasn't seen him. It's just been me.
Right.
Then COVID hit. Uh, I worked for the prosecutor's office and retired. And I've been given my whole payment, everything I get to keep to pay the rent, to pay the bill. So I decided I can't do it no more. It's killing me. So I talked to Lawrence about it. And I told him that I wanted out. We were on a 5-year lease. When I signed that lease, I didn't know I signed for property taxes. That's my fault. So I had to pay the property taxes and the rent and put a furnace in. I've done all that except for I think the last time I paid was March. April, May, and June, I just fell behind financially. I can't do it anymore.
Right.
So I talked to Mr. Lawrence about getting out. He said he's trying to sell the building. Person came, they were looking at the building to buy it. I think they're scheduled to close this Friday. He said he would let me out without no issue. Now I'm still getting a judgment, and I'm in the process of rebuilding my credit, and my wife is going to suffer because of this as well.
Yeah, and recognize this is just a time for pretrial, all right? So this is
Yes,
not.
sir.
I'm not going to grapple with the facts concerning
Yes, sir.
these matters. It sounds like you're going to get possession of it. Correct. And then the only thing left is any type of money judgment on top of that.
Correct.
And that seems to be in somewhat dispute.
Yes.
Based on what I see in a commercial property is that we should set this for formal hearing. I mean, that's what I'm looking at, so that I will grapple with the issues. And so just so you know, so you're not represented by counsel. So I mean, a formal hearing would be a hearing where you come, you bring in evidence, I look at the evidence, and I make a decision based on the evidence.
Yes, sir.
And then you're kind of stuck with whatever decision I come out with. All right. And if that's a judgment, that's a judgment. But that's kind of the last level of review where I look at the evidence. It's a preponderance of the evidence case. It's a civil case, and so I look at it in that regard. If you can't work these issues, that's what we set it for, as a formal hearing.
Yes.
Or a bench trial, so to speak. For lack of a better word. Is that where you see this going today?
Well, Your Honor, I really just want to give it back. I'm not trying to be difficult at all.
Right. I understand, but if there's issues that are in dispute, then they have to be resolved. And ultimately, I'm the one who looks at the evidence and makes the resolution.
Yes, sir.
And so my take on this is to place it on the formal hearing calendar. Set it for formal concerning the money judgment.
It doesn't sound like there's a dispute as to the amount. It's just
right.
He doesn't want a money judgment entered.
Right.
The owner and I talked about it. This is not what we talked about.
Okay. Well, prior to the hearing, if you can work out something in order so that it's something less than me ordering a judgment.
Yes.
That's between the parties. All right. That's between both of you. Yeah. When I put the judgment in, then I sign the judgment. The court speaks through its orders, and then you have a judgment against you. And I would say the majority of the time people are trying to avoid that. Okay. I mean, that's the majority of the time. So if you're able to, but in order to buy time today, we'll put this on the formal hearing and allow you to. My formal hearing docket, I can set this. So what are you looking for formal hearing? I have dates blocked off for formal hearings on these matters. The soonest date would be August 10th. A later date would be September 7th.
August 10th would be good with me, Your Honor.
Actually, I'm scheduled to be I have a family reunion in Virginia Beach.
Okay, how about August 17th? It's a week later.
Yes, sir.
All right.
That will work.
Okay, so I'm going to set for formal this 22-01614. So set for bench trial or formal hearing, depending on what you want to call it, on August 17th at 2:30. That's live, since it's which doesn't seem to be a problem with you gentlemen. The most important thing I can tell you about that hearing, and Mr. Mock knows this, you're coming as if you're coming to a bench trial. So whatever evidence you have, whatever you want, the rules about it has to be legally admissible. That's where I'm a little, I'm making sure that you understand the rules.
Yes, sir.
So that I can consider all the evidence when I'm making my ruling. It's a trial, essentially. Okay. And so if you're able to work this out beforehand, however, great, let the court know. you know, we'll file the paperwork. If not, we're set for August 17th at 2:30, okay?
I guess, may I just ask?
Sure.
I guess the only thing is just my word against Mr. Lawrence, because we're the only two that heard the conversations.
But
I do.
and there's some truth to that, but there's also documentation that if any documentation comes in and it's preponderant to the evidence scale, so it tips whichever scale tips. But that's why we're live. There's credibility issues, things of that matter.
Yes, sir.
So we're all set for August 17th, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right, let's call, I think we've got some cases to call now. So I'm gonna call the case of docket 22-01153. That is Mr. Nearat, that's your case of Fady versus Mark Gibson and Amy Nichols Gibson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Yeah, please accord, Your Honor, Attorney Frank Nearat on behalf of the plaintiff landlord Fady.
And it is, I'll go ahead and admit everybody into the room that's in the waiting room just in case. But this was scheduled for 8:15. It's now 8:55. I have personal service as to both Mr. Gibson and Miss Nichols Gibson. Mr. Nearat, how would you like to proceed today?
Please accord, Your Honor, I'm informed by my client that these folks are in the process of a recertification. And I would ask that you put this on a 45-day hold, similar to the other case, to allow that process to go to conclusion.
All right, so it's 45-day abeyance for Sierra recertification.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll wait to hear from you one way or another.
Very good, sir.
All right, so I've done that. This is put 45-day in abeyance for Sarah recertification. Anything else on this file, Mr. Nearat, on 22-01153?
No, I just wanted to express my appreciation for Ms. Templeton helping us out earlier, and that's all I have, Your Honor. Thank you very kindly.
Thank you. Thank you for your appearance today.
Yes, sir.
And then we have Mr. Odanicki, and I hope I pronounced that right.
Akanicki, Your Honor. Pretty close.
Akanicki. That was close. I tried.
Yeah, very close.
But it's Akanicki. I even spelled it phonetically and then mispronounced my phonetic spelling. So we're on the record in 22-01245. That is Eastside Community versus Lafayette Henderson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Akanicki, attorney for the plaintiff.
And I've checked the Zoom room. Ma'am, you're not Lafayette Henderson, obviously. No. Okay. And the courtroom, and I do not see Lafayette Henderson. Mr. Akanicki, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that this tenant actually has vacated, but my client would still like to get a possession judgment to be safe. And I'm not sure if I have personal service. So if not, I guess I'd ask for the quickest possible turnaround to have the second hearing to potentially get a default judgment.
Correct. It is service by attachment, so I'll give you the soonest hearing I have for a formal hearing. And that would be August 10th.
Thank you, Your Honor. What time would that be?
That would be August 10th at 2 o'clock.
All right, I have it down. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Thank you for your appearance and have a nice day.
Thank you.
Oh, he does? Remind me of that. I said. Ma'am, what case are you here on?
I'm Priscilla Hall, so this is
8:45 dates.
She said that missed it. That's already indicated.
All right, ma'am, come up here and let's get your case on the record. So that's Priscilla Holmes?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to go on the record in docket 22-01267. Let's make sure I've got it. 76. And that is Estella Holmes. Priscilla, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Priscilla Holmes versus Alyssa Stid.
Yes.
And this, so this was set for 8:45 today. It's now 8:58, but you have some information concerning the file. So I'll call that to the record, ma'am. You are Priscilla Holmes?
Yes.
All right. And Miss Stid is not here today, but you had some information for the court.
Well, I'm just asking for possession.
All right. And the indication is the tenant has left.
Well, I hope so. There's a couple of items left, but she told the downstairs tenant she had everything out. And there's 2 cats, and animal control won't pick them up without some kind of document.
With an order, without an order, right?
So I like an order for possession.
Okay, I do have service by attachment. So she was not personally served.
No, I haven't actually seen her for months. But she's been coming home. So, and there's nothing posted, so I'm assuming she took it down.
All right. All right, just to make sure this is done, let's give her a few more minutes because she's going to default today if she doesn't appear. And then we'll go from there. So I'm going to give her about 5 more minutes and then we'll call the record back. What's that?
Shall I sit?
Please, yes. And I'll put it up here. I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, well, she said she's not coming.
Okay.
She told the downstairs tenant, but I wanted it clear that I'm gonna take possession.
Okay.
So I can get the cats.
Defaults.
And I feel like it's just up to you at that point.
Yeah. All right, I see. Person on the iPhone, would you please identify yourself?
My name is Keisha Skinner.
Ms. Skinner, and you are here for, what time is your case today?
8:45.
I see you, ma'am. All right. And then Mr. Weir, you're here for your 8:45 also?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And I have Victoria Weir as the defendant too in that case. So is Victoria Weir here?
She is my wife, and I was informed that only one of us need to be here today.
All right. And then I have a person who's connecting on audio, but I don't know. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play a video for our tenants, so they can cover some of the legal issues. I'm hoping that so it's Arnold Winston, who's also an 8:45. Let me see if they can connect to audio so they can be a part of that, of the video. All right, Mr. Winston, Ms. Skinner, and Mr. Weir, I'm going to play you a video. You might want to have a pen or pencil to take some numbers. And Mr. Winston, you should be able to hear this. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And start the video.
Welcome to the 54A District Court. Please listen carefully for information about resources and assistance that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. Rental assistance is available through the COVID Emergency Rental Assistance Program, also known as SARA program. Apply online or from your smartphone at saraapp.michigan.gov. That's CERAAPP.michigan.gov. You have a right to be represented by an attorney. If you do not have an attorney and you are able to afford an attorney, you might locate an attorney through the State Bar of Michigan by calling 1-800-968-0738. If you cannot afford an attorney, you may seek free representation from legal services. You should have received this information with your summons and complaint. We have a representative present from legal services who is available to speak with you at the conclusion of today's hearing. You have a right to a trial by judge or jury. Assistance is also available from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. If you have a caseworker at MDHHS, then you should contact the Eviction Diversion Program line at 517-887-9595. If you do not have a caseworker, the court will provide you with information for a housing specialist or assistance payment worker at the local MDHHS office. Please contact that person immediately. These services are free. You do not need a judgment to receive assistance from MDHHS or Holy Cross Services. The summons and complaint from the court case are sufficient. If you are a veteran, assistance may be available through the National Call Center for Homeless Veterans at 1-877-424-3838 or by visiting the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs Homeless Veterans homepage. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. One way to resolve this case is if you and your landlord reach an agreement. In such case, a conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. The court can provide you with a form for a conditional dismissal. Another resource is the Michigan Community Dispute Resolution Program. If the court determines that your case can be resolved through community dispute resolution, then that resource will be coordinated by the judge. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly by the judge.
All right, I'm going on the record in David Bush LLC versus Keisha Skinner. That's docket 2201246LT. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Okonicki, attorney for the plaintiff.
And ma'am, you are Keisha Skinner?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you can hear me all right, Ms. Skinner?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Skinner, you've heard the videotape, so you know you have some legal rights concerning this matter. This is a pretrial in this case. Mr. Okonicki is a legal representative of David Buki LLC, and he is available to speak to you unless there's something else going on in the case that I should know about.
Your Honor, just before we get too far along, I received
Sure.
notice from my client just recently, and we're going to dismiss. This case should be dismissed. I apologize to Ms. Skinner for making her come today.
Yes.
Perfect. No, that's fine. So I'm gonna move. So the plaintiff moves to dismiss case,
Yes.
dismiss file. And then, so Ms. Skinner, you should be all set. All right.
Okay, will I get my deposit back?
Ms. Skinner, you should receive a notice from my client regarding the deposit. I'll follow up with him, and if you have any objections to what it says, there's certain legal rights that you have, but I'll follow up with him and make sure he sends you all the notice and what's going on with that, okay?
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right. So this file 22-01246 is dismissed at the request of plaintiff. Ms. Skinner, have a nice day.
You too, thank you.
Thank you. And then we have docket 22-01247, Eastside Community versus Arnold Winston. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Robert Akinicki, attorney for the plaintiff.
And sir, you are Arnold Winston. You'll have to unmute yourself, sir.
Yes, I'm Arnold Winston, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. And this is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. You've had the opportunity to see the video concerning some of your rights. You know that Mr. Winston, you know that Mr. Akinicki is here on behalf of Eastside Community. Mr. Akinicki, is there anything I should know about this case before we get things rolling a little bit?
No, nothing on this one that isn't in the complaint, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Winston, so you do have some rights in this case. One is you're not represented today. You would have the opportunity to speak with Mr. Akinicki concerning some of these legal issues. We also have representatives from Legal Services of South Central Michigan here. They would be able to speak to you after today's hearing about some of these issues if you wanted to speak to them. So you have several options that you have concerning this case.
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to speak to well, not the guy that's for not the attorney for the plaintiff, but the South Central. I tried to call them yesterday to try to get a attorney to try to see if to talk to them about this actual case or whatever. And I was wondering if there's any way I could get a phone number to go straight through to their line or something, because I called and
so what I'll do today, if Mr. Akinicki, is I can set this for formal hearing on the 10th in order to move the case along, and then so that's that date, and then Ms. Pereira, I can put a representative of Legal Services of South Central Michigan in with Mr. Winston in a breakout room. So that you can answer any questions he has, and maybe in regards to making application. Does that sound right, Ms. Pereira?
Yes, Your Honor, we can.
All right. So, okay. Mr. Akinicki, I would get setting this formal hearing or setting this a formal date work in regards to moving the case along, but still getting Mr. Winston the opportunity to speak to Legal Services of South Central Michigan.
That would make sense with me, Your Honor, and I'll discuss with the attorney any resolution prior to that. And I would just ask Mr. Winston, if they didn't take his case, to reach out to me at the number on the pleading so we can talk, but only if you don't get an attorney.
Yeah, well, yeah, I tried to call you yesterday also, but your line was nobody answered the phone, so I left a message. But...
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
So, Mr. Akinicki, do you have a preference? I have an August 10th date and an August 17th date. I think one of those dates are yours already.
Yeah, I'm already on August 10th at 2 o'clock, so I prefer that date, Your Honor, if available.
All right, so I'm going to put August 10th at 2 o'clock, so it'll be along with your other file.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Winston, I'm going to put you in. Ms. Pereira, who would you like Mr. Winston to meet with from Legal Services of South Central Michigan?
He can go in with Nick Matthews, please.
All right, so I'm gonna set this for formal hearing.
What does that mean,
now.
Your Honor?
That right now, that means that we've set it for a bench trial, but you're gonna have the opportunity to speak to a legal representative. That's just to build some time into the case so you can talk to a representative and possibly Mr. Okanicki later, depending on what happens, in order to resolve the case before the actual hearing date.
Okay.
Okay, and let me give you that date, sir, so you know it. It's August 10th.
Okay.
At 2:00.
Okay. And I was talking about the informal or formal. What does that mean? Like I have to be there?
Yeah, you'd have to be there. You'd have to be here in person and
Okay.
provide me with any evidence on your behalf. But the representative from Legal Services of South Central Michigan can explain that. So those questions, they can explain to you the process. But right now, we're going to put you in a breakout room once we close this file, so you have the opportunity to ask some of those questions. All right, Mr.
Okay.
Winston?
Okay. So
right.
they're actually my attorney?
No, you're going to make application to see if they're able to represent you.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now I understand. All right. Thank you.
All right. So is there anything else for the record, Mr. Okanicki, in 2201247?
Not on this file, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. And so I will place Mr. Winston and Mr. Matthews in a breakout room. And Ms. Holmes, you can come back up here and we'll place your file on the record. Now that we can call the case and the time. So we're back on the record in docket 2201276. That is Priscilla Holmes versus Alyssa Stid. This is the time set was for this case was 8:45. It is now 9:16. And ma'am, you are Priscilla Holmes? Okay. And it appears that Ms. Stid has failed to appear today. And you indicated to the court previously that it's your understanding that well, why don't you tell me?
She told downstairs, she had everything else.
Okay, so she's vacated the premise.
Yeah. And I am here because I would like indication that judgment has been fulfilled because there's cats.
Because there's some animals there that the animal control would need an order in order to act on it. All right. Well, I'm gonna indicate for the record that the defendant has failed to appear. It's my understanding and the landlord's understanding that they have vacated the premises. And I don't know what's easier to do if this is, but I mean, you should submit an order for me to sign concerning.
I can't just get something here.
Go down to the 5th floor to the criminal or the civil department. They will give you all the paperwork that you need to fill out, and then you can have it. You can give it filled back out and give it to them.
Right, and yeah, the court speaks through its orders. They're going to need a piece of paper, and that paper's got to be filled out. And we don't do that because it's not our. It's your work.
Yeah.
It's not our work. So
I don't have a lease with the cats.
what's that?
I don't have.
No, you don't. Unfortunately, that's true. So I am going to say, I'm going to place for the file that the defendant failed to appear. Landlord says that landlord indicates that the tenant has vacated the premises, and you'll follow up with an order. Okay.
They will help you out on the 5th floor with all the paperwork that you need. Just let them know that the judge granted you a judgment, and you just need the judgment paperwork to fill out, and they'll know exactly what to give.
It's a one-page form. All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, so that's all on the record in 22-01276. And then I'm calling to the record 22-01616. That is OPV Partners, and I believe their representative is Jackie Snyder versus Joshua Weir. Joshua and Victoria Weir, will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Snyder Badar, representing OPV Partners for Mark Wasbury.
And sir, you are Joshua Weir?
Yes, sir. I'm Joshua Weir.
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Weir?
Yes, sir.
All right, this time set for a pretrial in the matter. And Mr. Weir, you've had the opportunity to speak to see the video concerning some of your rights in the case. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Snyder on behalf of OPV Partners, and I'm uncertain if you would like to eventually speak to somebody from Legal Services of South Central Michigan in regards to this file. We do have Jackie Snyder here as a representative from OPV. Do you have any preferences on how you'd like to proceed today?
I don't. So I sent you a couple of files to the email. I do have a plan to actually get this taken care of. So I guess I just need to come to an agreement with the attorney and the landlord.
Would you, so I can place yourself and Ms. Snyder in a breakout room so you can discuss some of these matters in regards to resolving a pretrial. Ms. Snyder, would that work for you?
Yes, and Hillary is standing in for Ms. Lamb, but it says on the screen Lamb. Can she go in there too? She is my client.
Absolutely. So I will place Ms. Snyder, Ms. Weir, and Ms. Lamb in a breakout room.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. How are you, Ms. Pereira?
I'm pretty good. How are you, Your Honor?
I'm good also. Yes. So usually we Ms. Templeton's here usually, so it's nice to see you.
It's good to see you too, Your Honor. Sadly, Ms. Templeton is she's leaving our office for another job in a couple of weeks, so you're going to be stuck with me again for a little while.
Well, I'm fine with that, as you know, but Ms. Templeton has been extremely helpful to us.
I'm very bummed that she's leaving us, but she's
Right.
On to bigger and better things.
Good for her. Okay, I see the 915s here. So I might play them to take, well, they're the only one set for 915.
Might as well just play for them.
Yeah. And ma'am, you are Alexa Jones?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Jones, I'm going to play you a videotape concerning some of your rights in this pretrial concerning this landlord-tenant matter. And since you're the one tenant here, I can play it for you right now. Do you have a pen or pencil to take some notes?
Yes, I do.
All right. I'll let you get that all set and then I'll play you the video.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, we should have, I think we've got a newer one than this. All right, let me check this video.
Welcome to the 54A District Court. Please listen carefully for information about resources and assistance that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. Rental assistance is available through the COVID Emergency Rental Assistance Program, also known as SARA program. Apply online or from your smartphone at saraapp.michigan.gov. That's CERAAPP.michigan.gov. You have a right to be represented by an attorney. If you do not have an attorney and you are able to afford an attorney, you might locate an attorney through the State Bar of Michigan by calling 1-800-968-0738. If you cannot afford an attorney, you may seek free representation from legal services. You should have received this information with your summons and complaint. We have a representative present from legal services who is available to speak with you at the conclusion of today's hearing. You have a right to a trial by judge or jury. Assistance is also available from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. If you have a caseworker at MDHHS, then you should contact the Eviction Diversion Program line at 517-887-9595. If you do not have a caseworker, the court will provide you with information for a housing specialist or assistance payment worker at the local MDHHS office. Please contact that person immediately. These services are free. You do not need a judgment to receive assistance from MDHHS or Holy Cross Services. The summons and complaint from the court case are sufficient. If you are a veteran, assistance may be available through the National Call Center for Homeless Veterans at 1-877-424-3838 or by visiting the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs Homeless Veterans homepage. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. One way to resolve this case is if you and your landlord reach an agreement. In such case, a conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. The court can provide you with a form for a conditional dismissal. Another resource is the Michigan Community Dispute Resolution Program. If the court determines that your case can be resolved through community dispute resolution, then that resource will be coordinated by the judge. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly by the judge.
All right, Ms. Jones, I'll call your case in just a minute if you got the opportunity to see that video. You're the legal representative for OPV Partners is in a breakout room right now. So I would probably call your case in the next 10 minutes, all right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Ms. Jones.
Who is it? Taylor, we're doing something. Come back later.
So we're back on the record in docket 22-01616. And Ms. Snyder, you've had the opportunity to speak to Mr. Weir in a breakout room.
Yes, I have. Mr. Weir, you can unmute your device so you can speak as well. Thank you. Okay, so this is the situation, Your Honor. Mr. Weir and his wife are awaiting the payment from a SSD application and order that was granted. We would like to, with your grace, of course, set a second first hearing to allow that time for that payment to come in, but hold these proceedings so that our client is, satisfied and their rights are being represented well.
So do you want a second pretrial? Either way, it's going to end up as a second pretrial or like a final formal hearing notice.
Right.
But
we were hoping that we could do a second pretrial because in the event that anything happens with the holdup of the payment, we're trying to give them the most time possible, as the SSD program is backlogged and takes a long time. So it sounds like the end of September is when they're expecting the payment. So we're kind of just asking for however Your Honor would like to proceed to allow the timing for that payment.
Right. I can set it on. I can set. So
And Mr. Weir is aware that they will be responsible for rent and arrearages after, while we're waiting for the payment.
we're just making sure we get a date after September 2nd.
It's actually, the payment is going to be at the end of September. So the judgment was granted on June 28th, and it's 60 to 90 days from that time. So the last time would probably be September 28th, in which they could possibly receive payment. It could be any day now, but.
All right, let me look at our schedule. So is that then you're looking for an October pretrial date?
Yes, that would be acceptable. That would be wonderful. And I apologize. I know your schedule is probably not planned exactly there done yet. And we appreciate it.
Put it, place it for a pre-trial.
So Ms. Snyder, we don't have a scheduling docket for October this far in advance.
Okay.
So what I would ask you to do I would put the file in abeyance, and then you would signal to the court to reopen the file in October.
We could do that as well.
All right, so
let me double check my client. Is that okay?
All right.
Molly and Hillary, to put it on it, put a stay on it as we do for Sarah funding.
Yep, that'll be fine.
Okay.
All right.
Great. That would be great.
I'm gonna place
Mr. Ware, you can
file in abeyance while awaiting rental assistance. Per the party's request.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so anything else for the file 2201616, Ms. Snyder?
No, that concludes this one, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right, we're all set. The file will be placed in abeyance, and then Ms. Snyder, on behalf of the landlord, will reopen the case if necessary.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weir.
Thank you.
And then I can go ahead and call another one of your cases, Ms. Snyder.
Okay.
And let me grab that file. OPV Partners versus Alexa Jones, and Ms. Jones is here and has watched the video.
Great.
So I'll call to the record docket 2201617. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Snyder.
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Snyder Powdar on behalf of Mark Wasbury, 82554 is my P number, representing Autumn Ridge Apartments in this matter.
And ma'am, you are Alexis Jones?
Yes.
And you can hear me all right, Ms. Jones?
Yes, I can.
All right. This is the time set for a pre-trial in the matter. You've had the opportunity to watch a video, Ms. Jones. We have a legal representative from OPV Partners, Ms. Snyder's here. So you have some options. One is you can speak to with Ms. Snyder concerning some of these issues at the pre-trial to resolve this case. There's also representatives from Legal Services of South Central Michigan here. After the hearing, after we conclude, I could put you in a breakout room with one of their representatives so you could talk about making an application for representation by them. But really, unless there's something the court doesn't know, and Ms. Snyder, I always ask the question now, is there something in regards to a Sarah application or anything along those lines that the court should know about that would place the file in a different avenue at this time?
Not that I am aware of, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Jones, do you have a preference? Would you like to speak with Ms. Snyder concerning some of these legal issues? I can also set it for hearing, I would put it on a formal hearing calendar for the court. And then you could let us know if you want to speak to Legal Services of South Central Michigan regarding representation.
I would like to speak to Ms. Snyder. I don't think I need like legal help or anything like that. I would like to speak with her though.
Okay.
All right. I'm understanding that you're unrepresented, but I'll put you in a breakout room with Ms. Snyder and see if you can work out some of the issues concerning this matter. So I'm going to place Ms. Snyder and Ms. Alexis Jones in a breakout room.
Okay. And Ms. Lamb as well, please.
Oh, and Ms. Lamb also. How are you, Ms. Lamb?
Great. How about you, Judge?
I'm good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Nathaniel. There it is. All right. I have too many computers and too many stuff on too many computers. We don't get them. I think that's the first one they've asked for pre-trial that far out. All right, so I'll stop. I'll try to avoid.
They said that to me last week. They asked if I was doing it on purpose.
I'm like, no, I'm doing it on purpose. Because many, and I see what they're saying, many of those formal hearings aren't formal hearings. They're just not. They're, you know, I can see if we have to set it because service wasn't correct.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, it's really a second pretrial. I don't think there's any proofs this afternoon. I think it's all just moving paper.
There's a couple pre-trials this afternoon.
Are there? We have one or two that are set for a real. I don't know what happened to that. I don't know what happened with Mr. Crahan's motion.
Hopefully it's gone forever. We have 5 pre-trials this afternoon.
Yeah, that's what they want to avoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Because then we really run out of hearing dates.
Yep. Yeah, I think I was building in a second pretrial, and we need to, if we're gonna do that, we should just call it a second pretrial. So this afternoon, OPB Partners is a stiff.
Which one?
I have OPB at 2:30 OPB Partners versus Holland Gentry. I have a stiff on that.
Okay.
At least I have it written across it.
Okay.
And then I have OPB Partners, Watson and Williams crossed off at 2.
Yeah, I don't have that on my docket.
All right.
And then OPB Partners, Melissa Theodoris and Colin Theodoris at 1:30. We got a dismissal for that.
Okay. I hope that emergency surgery isn't serious.
It's appendicitis.
Is it? How old is she? It's young.
Yeah.
I had that back in the day. I was in high school. And that's funny. When I was in high school, we had to write in these big chief tablets. It was like a 45-minute study, and you're supposed to write for 45 minutes. And my mom still has it or had it, but I wrote down that day like I feel terrible, like my stomach hurts. I don't feel like I can keep any food down. I got a pain, and that night I went and got my appendix taken out. So yeah, it's not just like, oh, I feel a little sick.
Yeah.
Sir, on the iPhone, would you identify yourself?
My name is Tony Davis.
What time is your hearing, sir?
9:45.
Do you have a case number? I don't see your case on my docket.
It is 22-01912 CTF.
Yeah, I wonder if you're in the right courtroom. Let me look up that case to see, okay?
Okay.
It's 2 months early.
So, sir, I do have that on my docket, but it's scheduled for September 14th.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're in the right place. You're just a couple of months early.
I see. It say 9. I'm sorry.
All right, but you know where to come next time.
Right. Okay. Sorry about that.
No worries. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you.
All right, so we're back on the record in docket 22-01617. And Ms. Snyder, have you had the opportunity to speak to Ms. Jones in a breakout room?
Yes, Your Honor, we spoke, Ms. Jones and I spoke, and it seems like there are some accounting issues that we need to account for. There was apparently a payment that was made back in October before our management took over, and some issues with a lockbox being broken into. And so Ms. Jones made a payment, and then, that got stolen, and late charges accrued and other interest accrued, and she needs us to back some of those out to get that payment taken care of. And she's also seeking help from DHS. So we are asking for a 30-day rescheduling of the first pretrial to give her time to, for on our end, to account for the ledger corrections, and on her end, reach out to DHS and seek that rental help.
So so parties are requesting a second pretrial.
And on our end, we did, we have taken care of and secured the lockbox situation.
Right. And
so that's no longer an issue.
So a August date would suffice.
Yes. Middle of August would be wonderful.
So August 10th
Okay. What time, Your Honor?
at 10:15.
That works for us.
All right, Ms. Jones, the August 10th date at 10:15, in order to resolve some of these issues, we're going to set it for second pre-trial.
Okay.
All right. All right. So that's anything else for the record in 22-01617, Ms. Snyder?
No, Your Honor, not at this time. Thank you.
All right. All right. So that's all on the record. Ms. Jones, we'll see you back here on August 10th. Thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you.
Ms. Reed, you're here on the 9:45 matter?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. I will give them 15 minutes and see what happens. All right.
Sure, that's fine. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Sir, on the cell phone, would you identify yourself, please? Sir, on the cell phone, 902-1220, would you identify yourself?
Patsy Dillard.
You're gonna have to say that again.
Patsy Dillard.
All right. You're here for your 1015?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. We'll call your case in just a second. You might want to get a pen and pencil handy, because I'm going to show you a video probably in about 10 minutes when we see if other tenants are arriving. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. And then I think we're ready to call the next file. So calling the case of 22-01286. That is Hunter Town property versus Shallon Hoskins and Darren Lundy. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Sarah Reed appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
And I've checked the Zoom room and there's nobody in the courtroom. And it appears that Shallon Hoskins and Darren Lundy are not present. This case was set for 9:45. It is now 10:01. Ms. Reed, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, I assume that they were probably served by posting. Since this is the first pretrial, I guess we'll probably have to adjourn it for a week or whatever Your Honor's court date is.
Yeah. This was served by attachment, and the earliest date I have is August 10th.
That's fine.
All right, so August 10th at 2:30.
2:30. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Anything else for the record in 22-01286, Ms. Reed?
No, Your Honor. Thank you. I'll just go back in the waiting room because I'm done until 10:15.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks.
So, is that a non-payment?
Levine, you're here on the Ms. Dillard's matter?
That is correct.
All right, let's go ahead and call that, because I know, and Ms. Dillard, since this is the second pretrial, I know you've already seen the video, and we adjourned this to see if we could resolve this. So I'm going to call to the record docket 22-01111. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record, Mr. Levine?
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning. Attorney Bernard Levine on behalf of Tayraw LLC.
And ma'am, you are Patsy Dillard?
Yes, sir.
All right. And ma'am, you can hear me all right, Miss Dillard?
Yes, sir.
All right. This is the time set for a second pretrial in this matter. This was adjourned from July 13th at 10:15. Mr. Levine, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, we're proceeding in the ordinary course. It was my hope that we can get a little bit of traction here, but we did not. I haven't heard from adverse party or counsel.
All right, Miss. Go ahead, Miss Dillard.
Well, we was waiting on that Sarah program, or then she said she can help me get a legal aid lawyer, which I don't understand, but the Sarah program, since I didn't know how to do it electronically, I did it by mail. So they said it takes a little while. So
let's do this, ma'am. I'm gonna set this for a formal hearing out a little bit, and I'm gonna have you talk to a representative of Legal Services of South Central Michigan concerning this matter, because I think that'd be a good idea. Ms. Pereira, you want to say something?
If I may, Your Honor, I do see that Ms. Dillard has a SARA application that was submitted.
Okay, so then I'm going to place, then that changes things. Is there a number with that, Ms. Pereira?
Yes, Your Honor. It's 476-914.
All right. So 476-914 is the SARA app number. And if that's the case, then I'm going to place the file in a 45-day abeyance pursuant to the SARA rules. So Ms. Dillard, what I'm doing today is I'm going to place this file in an abeyance, which means it's just held until we see where your rental assistance comes from and see that we get your rental assistance. So I'll set the file in abeyance for 45 days.
Okay. Hopefully I'll hear some from them by then.
Right. Anything else on the file, Mr. Levine? I think you've got the number, and then after 45 days, you can contact the court if we need to revive the file.
Indeed, completely understood. Nothing else from here, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Levine. So, ma'am, we're setting it 45-day abeyance. That's all for the record in this file, 22-01111.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're free to leave, Ms. Dillard.
Okay, thank you.
And thank you for your help, Ms. Pereira.
No problem, Your Honor.
Hello?
Zoom user, could you identify yourself for the record, please?
Tia Mask?
All right, Ms. Mask, you're here for your 10:15?
Yes, sir.
All right, if you wait about 5 minutes, I'm going to play a video for you. I want to see if another tenant shows up, and then I'm going to play a video that indicates some of your rights in the case, all right?
Yes.
All right, you're in the right place, so just stand by.
Yes.
So Ms. Mask, I'm gonna go ahead and play you a video, all right?
Yes.
You should have a pen or pencil present to take down any numbers that you might think are important. And I'm gonna start that right now.
Welcome to the 54A District Court. Please listen carefully for information about resources and assistance that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. You have a right to be represented by an attorney. If you do not have an attorney and you are able to afford an attorney, you might locate an attorney through the State Bar of Michigan by calling 1-800-968-0738. If you cannot afford an attorney, you may seek free representation from legal services. You should have received this information with your summons and complaint. We have a representative present from legal services who is available to speak with you at the conclusion of today's hearing. You have a right to a trial by judge or jury. Assistance is also available from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. If you have a caseworker at MDHHS, then you should contact the Eviction Diversion Program line at 517-887-9595. If you do not have a caseworker, the court will provide you with information for a housing specialist or assistance payment worker at the local MDHHS office. Please contact that person immediately. These services are free. You do not need a judgment to receive assistance from MDHHS or Holy Cross Services. The summons and complaint from the court case are sufficient. If you are a veteran, assistance may be available through the National Call Center for Homeless Veterans at 1-877-424-3838 or by visiting the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs Homeless Veterans homepage. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. One way to resolve this case is if you and your landlord reach an agreement. In such case, a conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. The court can provide you with a form for a conditional dismissal. Another resource is the Michigan Community Dispute Resolution Program. If the court determines that your case can be resolved through community dispute resolution, then that resource will be coordinated by the judge. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly by the judge.
All right. So we're on the record in docket 2201288. That is Huntertown property versus Tierra Mask. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Sarah Reed appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Hello, I'm Tierra Mask.
And Ms. Mask, you can hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
And Ms. Mask, Ms. Mask, this is the time set for pre-trial in this landlord-tenant matter. There's a representative from Huntertown Properties here. Ms. Reed is a legal representative. You've had the opportunity to look at the video so you understand some of your rights in the case. So you have some options here today. Ms. Reed, feel free to jump in if there's something about the case I don't know about, you know.
Okay.
Some of your options are to meet with the legal representative, Ms. Reed, in regards to resolving some of these issues prior to setting it for a formal hearing. The other thing you can do is after this hearing, you're welcome to meet with a representative from Legal Services of South Central Michigan. Ms. Pereira's here, and they have some representatives that can meet with you after the hearing in regards to representation. Of course, that's an application process that you'd go through. So this is the pre-trial to see if we can resolve it rather than before we go to formal hearing.
Yes.
Do you have any preference as to how you would like to proceed today?
No.
All right. Well, the one thing you can do, if there's some issues in the case and Miss Reed's amenable, I could put you in a breakout room to speak to her, to see if there's some type of resolution or some plan they can come up with. Other than that, I can, after the hearing, I can have Ms. Pereira have you meet with somebody from Legal Services of South Central Michigan. But based on some of your conversations you have with Ms. Reed, is going to be kind of going to guide me as to whether I set it for formal hearing or something like that. So, I mean, if you're amenable and if Ms. Reed's amenable, I would let you two talk.
Sure. I'm definitely not having any issues. So that would be
all right. Ms. Reed, would you like to meet with Ms. Mask in a breakout room?
Sure, that'd be fine. Thanks.
All right. So I'm going to have Ms. Reed, do you have a property manager that you'd want also in the room, or?
I didn't see. Nope, I don't see them here today. But I think this is just the first pretrial with a non-payment case, so I'm not surprised that they're not here. So.
All right. I'm gonna have Ms. Reed and Ms. Mask placed in a breakout room.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. And Ms. Snyder, you're here on the following case, which is OPB Partners versus James Johnson.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to call that for the record. So I'm calling to the record docket 2201619. That is OPB Partners versus James Johnson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Snyder Powder on behalf of OPB Partners, Autumn Ridge Apartments. And I am standing in for Mark Wasbury, attorney of record. My number is 82554.
Thank you. And this is the time set for a pre-trial in the matter. It's 10:15. It's now 10:35. I don't see Mr. Johnson in the Zoom courtroom or in the actual courtroom. I do have personal service on the file. Ms. Snyder, how would you like to proceed?
We would like to move for a default judgment at this time.
Right, I see, and it's only as to possession per your complaint, as I see.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'm gonna, so DFTA. And you'll follow up with an order, Ms. Snyder?
Yes, Your Honor. We will send that over today.
All right, the default judgment's granted, and plaintiff to follow up with an order. Anything else on the file, Ms. Snyder? 2201619.
No, not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You are LaCarmen Robinson on the iPhone?
Yes,
All right. And you're here for your 10:45?
yes.
All right. Stand by, you're in the right place, and I will play a video for you. So you might want to have a pen or pencil handy to take whatever numbers are necessary. But you're in the right place, and I'll call your case. We'll play a video for you in about 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're gonna go back on the record in docket 22-01288. That's Hunter Town Properties versus Tierra Mask. Miss Reed, have you had the opportunity to speak with Miss Mask in a breakout room?
I did, Your Honor. Thank you. It's my understanding that Ms. Mask has applied for Sierra. She couldn't find her the email confirmation, so I was just wondering if there's Nikki. If Nikki might be able to look that up. And that I told her that Your Honor would likely stay the case for 45 days if she's got an application pending.
Correct. That's usually the case. And Ms. Pereira has been very helpful in tracking down numbers for us.
I am looking right now. I'm looking too. Ms. Mask, is it under your name?
Yes, Tierra Mask.
So I don't see a recent application in here.
They told me to do a recent application for the simple fact that it closes June 30th. And it definitely, matter of fact, I probably have this screenshot of the congratulations, look in your email. Also, I went down there where the VLA is on Monday because I hadn't received nothing more from them. And I spoke with a lady named Cynthia Thomas, and she says, well, she could see it. It started with a 5, perhaps, the number.
They very well might have it. I just don't see it on my end, but I have a more limited access than what the housing agencies have.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ms. Reed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Your Honor, what I just wondered is, Ms. Mask and I traded email addresses. If maybe Your Honor might, I think your next court date was August 10th anyway, so maybe we adjourn it out to that date, but obviously that's more than enough time to figure out what the Sierra number is and if it's pending or under review or processing. I'm certainly happy to email the court and copy Ms. Mask on it and just indicate there is one pending if we want to remove that August 10th date and just stay it for the 45 days.
So I can set it for hearing on that date with the understanding that that's really just to get the number, because it sounds like everything's been done. It's just a matter of the reflection of the computer catching up with the number in process. And Ms. Mask, you're correct. As of June 30th, the program is not taking electrical filings. I think they might still be taking paper filings on some level, but I'm not certain. So I'm gonna put this out so it'll be August 10th at 2:30, 22-01288. And then I'll indicate for the file, but it'll be set for formal hearing. But that's only to garner time at this point. So
yeah. Well, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, ma'am.
I had just told Mrs. Reed I do not want to leave the property with the balance. I don't.
All right. So August 10th at 2:30. And I'll go ahead and make some notes here.
Really appreciate the time, ladies and gentlemen.
You're welcome.
All right. So I've indicated this will be adjourned to August 10th at 2:30 and made some notes for the file. Anything else, Ms. Reed, on 22-01288?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right. And just when the number is located, just contact the court, let the court know. Anything else, Ms. Mask?
Should I well, I had ended up emailing you a bunch of stuff to your email. Should I email when I get that new information, which I'm probably about to run around like a chicken with my head cut off as soon as I get off this phone with you. But should I just email that to that email that's on the bottom of the screen or to Mrs. Reed?
I would email it to I'd email it to Miss Reed. Yes.
Okay.
So as long as Miss Reed has the information, then she can contact the court in regards to the next hearing date.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So that's all for the record in 22-01288. Thank you for your appearance today, Miss Mass.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, guys.
And then we're right on the verge of the 10:45. And I don't see a Wayna Sanders here. So I'm missed. So look, Carmen Robinson. Yes, thank you, LaCarmen. I'm gonna play you a videotape. And if you have a pen and pencil, I'd take down any numbers, but I'm gonna play you a videotape and then we'll call your case. All right, ma'am?
Okay.
Welcome to the 54A District Court. Please listen carefully for information about resources and assistance that may be available to assist you. Please have paper and a pen handy. You have a right to be represented by an attorney. If you do not have an attorney and you are able to afford an attorney, you might locate an attorney through the State Bar of Michigan by calling 1-800-968-0738. If you cannot afford an attorney, you may seek free representation from legal services. You should have received this information with your summons and complaint. We have a representative present from legal services who is available to speak with you at the conclusion of today's hearing. You have a right to a trial by judge or jury. Assistance is also available from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. If you have a caseworker at MDHHS, then you should contact the Eviction Diversion Program line at 517-887-9595. If you do not have a caseworker, the court will provide you with information for a housing specialist or assistance payment worker at the local MDHHS office. Please contact that person immediately. These services are free. You do not need a judgment to receive assistance from MDHHS or Holy Cross Services. The summons and complaint from the court case are sufficient. If you are a veteran, assistance may be available through the National Call Center for Homeless Veterans at 1-877-424-3838 or by visiting the U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs Homeless Veterans homepage. Your landlord-tenant case can be resolved in a number of ways. One way to resolve this case is if you and your landlord reach an agreement. In such case, a conditional dismissal is possible when approved by all parties. The court can provide you with a form for a conditional dismissal. Another resource is the Michigan Community Dispute Resolution Program. If the court determines that your case can be resolved through community dispute resolution, then that resource will be coordinated by the judge. Thank you for your attention. Your case will be called shortly by the judge.
All right, Miss Snyder, you're here on OPV versus Carmen Robinson.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So I'm going to call that case to the record, calling 22-01620. That is OPV Partners versus Carmen Robinson. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Jackie Snyder Powdar on behalf of OPV Partners in this matter, standing in for Mark Lonsberry. 82554 is my P number.
And you are LaCarmen Robinson?
Yes.
Okay. And is it Miss Robinson or Mr. Robinson?
It's Miss Robinson.
Thank you. That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure. Miss Robinson, you had the opportunity to watch the video today, so you understand some of the rights and some of these rights in this matter. So as we proceed, you have several options. Ms. Snyder is here as a representative, legal representative from OPV Partners, and she can talk to you about some of the issues resolving the case, unless Ms. Snyder, you have some information that would make a difference with the court's decision on how to handle this matter.
I do not at this time, Your Honor.
All right. So Ms. Robinson, you'd have the opportunity to speak with Ms. Snyder if she's amenable in a breakout room to work out some of the issues. This is a pre-trial. The next step is a formal hearing in which everybody would bring evidence in order to have the court decide the issues in the case. The other thing is, after the case is done, Ms. Pereira is here from Legal Services of South Central Michigan, and she would be able to have you meet with a representative of Legal Services of South Central Michigan in order to make application for possible representation in this case. That I can do regardless. That I can do. Ms. Robinson, do you have a preference as to how you want to proceed today?
I don't think I need legal representation, but I did sign up. I don't know how I'm supposed to handle this, but I am like in this SARA program, and I'm kind of just waiting back to hear from them.
Do you have a number for your application?
Yes.
Oh, what's that number, ma'am?
It's 321-428. And then it says like -RECERT-1.
Your Honor, I do see hers in the online portal.
Thank you, Ms. Pereira. So with that understanding of that you've applied for SARA and have a number, I think the procedure now is Ms. Snyder is to place this file in abeyance for 45 days. So I'll place the file in abeyance for 45 days so that the rental assistant can catch up with the file. And then Ms. Snyder, you'll let my office know if we need to revive the file after 45 days.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Robinson, we're placing the file in abeyance for 45 days since you've applied for SARA and you gave the SARA number. And then after 45 days, when the rental assistant comes in and you're able to provide the needed rental assistance to the landlord, that'll make a determination of how the case goes from there. So right now it's put in abeyance for 45 days, ma'am. Do you have any questions of me?
No, I do not.
All right. So anything else for the record, Ms. Snyder, on 21-01620?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
All right. So that's all for the record in the file. Ms. Pereira, thank you for your assistance on that.
No problem, Your Honor.
So I'm okay to leave.
And then we have Ms. Reed, we have your case, so I'll call that 22-01290. That's Huntertown Properties versus Wayna Sanders. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Sarah Reed appearing on behalf of Huntertown.
And I've checked the courtroom and the Zoom room, and Wayna Sanders is not present today. This case was set for 10:45. It is now 11:07. Ms. Reed, how would you like to proceed?
Your Honor, it's with the previous case. I assumed that we don't have good luck with personal service, so I assumed that Ms. Sanders was served by posting, and we probably be adjourning this out to that August 10th date.
Correct. And let's make sure, so it is serviced by attachment. And this is just for our records, this is a non-payment of rent and there's no supplemental complaint. So I'll set it for formal hearing on August 10th at 2:30.
Thank you.
Anything else for the record on this file, docket 22-01290, Ms. Reed?
No, thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you. And then we have a couple matters, Ms. Reed, for 11:15, right?
Yes, I think I have 2 left. Thanks.
All right. Okay, so we'll wait to see who joins us today.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Reed, I think we can call your cases. So
right.
to the record of 22-01292, that is Huntertown Properties versus Ashley Trevino. Will the parties please make their appearance for the record?
Thank you, Your Honor. Sarah Reed appearing.
And this is a time set for pretrial, and Ms. Trevino is not in the courtroom and not in the Zoom courtroom. I do have service by attachment. Ms. Reed, how would you like to proceed? Is it me or did your audio just cut out?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay, it just all of a sudden it said my microphone wasn't working. Your Honor, based on the posting and her failure to appear, if we might adjourn this out to Your Honor's next available date, which I believe is that August 10th date.
Correct.
All right.
So I'll set it for August 10th at 2:30.
We're filled at 2:30. We do 2:45.
How about 2:45?
That's fine. Thank you.
All right. So DFTA set for formal hearing on August 10th at 2:45. Anything else for this file in 22-0122292, Ms. Reed?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
And then we have docket 22-01293. And that is Huntertown Properties versus Jacob Taylor. Would the parties please state their appearance for the record?
Sarah Reed, REED, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
And this is the time set for pretrial in the matter. It was set for 11:15. It's now 11:32. Mr. Taylor is not in the Zoom room and is not in the courtroom. I do have personal service for this file. Ms. Reed, how would you like to proceed?
Thank you, Your Honor. Based on his failure to appear and the personal service, I would request entry of the default possession judgment. I don't have any information from my manager that Mr. Taylor has applied for SIRA, that he's a minor suffering from any mental or physical or legal disability or serving the armed services. Would you like me to place the figures on the record, Your Honor?
Yes.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. The rent to retain to the end of the month is $1,472 even. I have statutory court costs of $166.08 for a total redemption amount of $1,638.08. And I believe the writ date would be Monday, the 21st. No, I can't do math.
Okay.
Whatever that Monday is.
You'll follow this up with an order, Ms.
Yes,
Reed?
I will, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. So I've placed those numbers in the file just for my own purposes, but I think the writ date actually will be 11 days after I sign it. Is that right? 10 days.
Yeah. Yep, that's fine.
Right. So order to be submitted by plaintiff. Anything else in this file, Ms. Reed?
Nope, all set. Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I think that's, do you have any cases with us this afternoon? I don't think so.
Nope, just Judge Buchanan.
All right. Well, have a nice day and thank you for your appearance.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good rest of your day.
You too, Ms. Pereira. Thank you for your appearance today. Thank you for your help.
Thank you.
All right.